Hey everybody, how's everybody doing on this wonderful Monday night? Hope everybody's well. We got some special guests here tonight. We got Mr. Ben Coombs, and
Hello.
we got the what's guitar something? What guitar?
I don't know. I'm guitar hack, I think now.
Oh, you're guitar hack and I'm guitar pick.
Yeah, I
That's
think
right.
one of those. I don't remember.
You know,
I
you're
get
gonna laugh,
confused.
but I actually referred to myself once as guitar pick.
I saw that. I remember that.
I got jumped on immediately. What? Who? Guitar. Too many guitars. Something.
They're all the same, yeah. Guitar something.
Too many guitars.
Close
Something.
enough,
Yeah. All right, let me just welcome everybody in. We got Will Varela's here. How are you, sir? Jason Wade's in the house. Jason! Dennis Bro, Guitar Pit's here. That's cool. Pooh Ninja's in the house. Brian Fingerless Guitar. How are you? Brian Fingerless will be with me on Thursday, by the way. Who else we got? Pooh Ninja's in the house. R2R3 Lockingnut. How are you, man? Am I missing anyone? Dennis Bro, Jeff Rupplinger, Picker Hat. Hey guys, Brian Cote, Jamal Kareem, and if I haven't said them already, Jeff Rupplinger. So yeah, we got
Byron, my lovely sister, Dry Heat 480.
Oh, there's more.
Riley, hey Riley, connected on Facebook.
Yeah. Okay, just refresh. Yeah,
so this is what happens when you don't go at 3 in the afternoon on a weekday. Okay, I get it. Those work hour streams are tough, man. You get little notifications and go, kind of busy.
Terry and just popped in. Terry's in. Cool. We get 23 people. This is fantastic.
Thumbs ups, folks.
So
cool. Thumbs ups for the Guitar Pit and the Guitar Hack, not for me.
Yeah. Thumbs up for everybody. Thumbs up and sub everybody. So,
Todd Flowers, hey, Jeff Ripplinger, Shauna Marie Sings. They're saying hey.
Oh, hey, how are you?
I'm unable to scroll from in the chat or change to live chat because for some reason my cursor is stuck on resizing our Hangouts window and it won't let go.
Well, I got it. David Ennis is here. How are you? So what have you guys been up to today? So did you end up buying anything?
Me? Yeah. No. So that, sir, I don't know if I mentioned it last time we talked, but basically when I bought that Luke, there was a Sir that I really wanted and it sold and it just went back up for sale today. So can't really afford it right now, but it's really, really cool guitar. But I don't know. It's $2,200. So that's.
And the other question is, what are you going to give up?
I got the Strandberg for sale because honestly, the main reason is it's just so similar to the Sir. Has the same pickups. It sounds almost the same. But it's a totally sweet guitar. I like it. I'd keep it, but I got to sell something. And I actually had my PRS posted for sale, but I ended up shipping that back to them because I don't really know what was going on, but the finish around the sides of the neck there was like air getting in there. It was like becoming, when it kind of lifts up and it gets a little white.
Yeah.
And so I sent them a picture, PRS, and said, hey, what's going on with this? And they said, we'll fix it. Just send it back. So,
cool.
Which is cool because I'm not the original buyer. It's old. It's like six years old. And they just said, yeah, ship it back. We'll refinish it. So that's cool. But now I can't sell it because it's getting repaired.
Yeah. You got anything on the horizon for Christmas, Ben? Are you eyeballing anything at the moment, or are you gonna wait for now?
Well, first of all, salute, BV Ninja. Good to see you.
Hey, BV, how are you, man?
There he is. Riley sent those impulse responses to Sean. Awesome. I'm sure he'll be happy to check them out. Honestly, I made the mistake of playing those Performer Series guitars the other night. So, yeah, they're nice. I'm not gonna lie.
Those look cool. What's the deal with them? Where are they made?
So
and
they replaced the American Special Series.
Okay.
And speaking in Canadian prices, like we don't have a US standard anymore. It's the Professional. They run a tick over $2,000 Canadian new.
The Performer series is also US made, not just US assembled like I kind of figured, because it's like, where do they save the money?
Yeah.
But yeah, fully US built guitars, and they're coming in at 1,500 Canadian. And they got some cool things like something I love anyways is a satin finish. I don't need a gloss finish. And plus, little treat, folks, always buy satin finish if it's cheaper. Get yourself some buffing compound, and you can turn it into a gloss finish on your own in a couple hours.
Or just play it a lot.
Play it, yeah, and it's, you know, like, it doesn't take much to take some buffing compound and polish out a guitar.
Yeah,
it's cool that kind of savings was passed on, because a lot of companies, satin gloss, same price, right?
Yeah.
So, or sometimes satin's more.
Charge like more premium. Yeah, because it's.
Yeah, I agree.
It's odd, like it's rare, more rare.
Yeah, nice stuff. Some different stuff, what was it that I played the other night? The Mustang has a vintage style trem on it that Rich hasn't seen since the originals.
Oh.
So,
cool.
Yeah, interesting.
So 1,500 Canadian, so maybe it's like 1,100, 1,000, something like that.
Yeah, 1,100 probably US.
Yeah. Mitch Heyman's here. How are you, Mitch?
Hey, Mitch. Congrats again on the new guitar, Mitch.
Well, congrats, and sorry at the same time. He's having issues with this E-string getting caught underneath the fret.
Yeah, and he was mentioning that, and everyone was thinking it was fret sprout. But if it's getting caught, I want to know, is it getting caught under the tang or under the fret itself? Because if it's under the fret itself, the fret might be lifting rather than just sprouting.
Yeah. And the other thing I noticed when a lot of people come over and play like the JP6 or something, that happens to them because the Music Man necks are so narrow and the strings are pretty close to the edge of the frets. So it doesn't catch a whole string under there, but you'll definitely pull it off the neck on occasion and catch off guard, definitely.
Right.
Well, Todd Flowers just mentioned that we were talking about the satin thing. He was saying that Gibsons are $400 cheaper in satin.
Huh?
Yeah, they release, like, they call them like special editions every once I think about once a year they'll release them, and they'll be satin finish and they'll be a little less expensive. So yeah.
And some of those Gibsons with the satin finish, I mean, those look cool. Those look cool. Or
satin finish and the brushed finish on the hardware rather than polished as well. Oh, yeah. It just looks like it's 20, 30 years old right out of the box.
And it'll be a plain top as well, so that'll save some money also.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, PRS does a couple, like, even high-end ones that come in satin, and they look really good, especially when you have those really fancy tops on them. And I know I was reading this forum where a lot of people were satining their own originally a gloss finish, but they liked the look so much that you just go to town on it with some sandpaper, and I guess it's not that hard, apparently. Don't quote me on that, but it's pretty cool.
Most stuff's pretty straightforward.
Jimmy T's in the house, and Todd Flowers is saying on the ES330 I just got it polished up super easy. Yeah, I've got my 339 is a satin finish, and they didn't knock any money off for that. It was still full pop, and you know what? It's the satin is going away. It's gone on the neck already, you know, just from playing it, and it just literally just, you know, moving your arm against it will take that right off. So you know, it's a temporary thing, the satin, right?
Yeah, that guitar that you have
folks in the chat. I know we've got a wide variety of viewers, and I'm curious, for those who have a guitar with a nitro finish that's still in nice shape, has anyone seen the Danish Pete video where he checks his gold top?
Yeah, that was
cool. That was pretty cool. And of course, I'm watching it going, well, it's about 75 degrees in here. Do I just take one of my tellies and just walk outside with it? You know, because it's about 3 degrees below freezing right now.
I would think that would do it, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how fast that was. I mean, that was instantaneous. The second he shot it with canned air, just spidered right out. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
I don't know.
I'm sure that makes somebody out there really crazy, though.
Yeah.
Randall Fisher and Todd Flowers said they saw that. See, I could see that if you already dinged the guitar and maybe caused a spider web, and then you're like, you know what? Let's make it look full on vintage at this point. You know, like you've already bashed it up a bit or what have you.
His was starting. It had like little on the sides, and I think he thought
starting. Okay.
It just didn't look like. It looked like it was just messed up because it had like 2 big lines on it and nothing else.
Yeah.
So I think he just thought, you know what, I'm going to go for it. And it came out cool, I thought. But
BV says saw it, but will not be doing that to any of mine.
Fair enough.
Will Varela is not a fan of a gold top. I owned a gold top for a long time. My first Les Paul was a gold top deluxe.
I'm not a fan of gold tops either, like at all. But I would do it with it, like if I had a gold checked like that.
Yeah, beat up. Yeah, they look cool when they're beat up.
R2's the same thing. Yeah, do it if it was gold top.
Maybe R2 just hates gold tops. He's destructive against them.
Well, like I did as much. I have a Epiphone 57 reissue gold top that I sanded off all the clear coat, which it looked really good because then it was like a satin gold top. And then I actually painted white primer over top of it, so it looked like Waddy Wichel's guitar, and then distressed the white, so the gold top was shining through the underneath the white, similar to, like Fender when they do their burst under Candy Apple Red or something like that.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Only guitar I've ever relicked.
Yeah, it's weird because I don't mind the gold tops, but I hate gold hardware.
I hate gold hardware. It's horrible.
Oh, hey, got another one. Yes. On any guitar, gold hardware just, I don't know.
Just the worst. But you know what?
Gotta be chrome or black.
Black's cool too. I love black, but gold for me just, I don't know. It looks like a Liberace guitar or something. It's just it's so much. But the upside is if you want like a set of pickups or something and you don't want to spend that much, they're free for gold because nobody wants them. So I got like some Sir Aldrich pickups for like under half a retail because gold. Nobody wants them.
Yeah, and I remember gold hardware, in the 70s. Like there was all the Les Paul customs, of course, but all the guys hot rodding their Nashville Telecasters. It was all brass hardware and gold, and you're just tricking it. And there's something about a trans finish telly or a no finish telly with gold hardware on it. I don't know. It just screams to me like Nashville Pecker.
Fair enough.
Broken Chains is here. How are you, Broken Chains? Nice to see you, man.
I like all those sandblasty, like Ibanez, I think, calls it Cosmo, but they have this kind of, I don't know what you'd call it. It's like a satin chrome. Is that right? It's not brushed steel or something, but those are cool. But some of the finishes on those wear off, which some people might care about, but
yeah.
Gussie Wells is calling us cork sniffers.
Well, I admit, long time ago, I am a snob. I'm a guitar snob.
Oh, I'm so picky. Oh.
Yeah.
Pedals are the worst.
See, I don't care about pedals. I don't care who makes them. I don't care what, because as long as they sound good, I'm fine with it. But guitars, on the other hand.
Well, that's the thing. But that's why I can't use a multi-effect. Well, I shouldn't say that. I can't use certain companies' multi-effects, like Boss, for instance. Love their delays. Not a big fan of their distortions too much. Love their chorus. Can't stand their phaser. So I'm still got to figure out how I need into it,
Well, I got my multi-effects that I had, the ME70. I mean, I A-beat it with my pedals, and it sounded like total garbage. It was like listening to AM radio. And and the thing is, you don't even realize it until you A/B it with pedals, and that's why I went over to pedals. That being said, though, I watched the demo of the new Boss, the G100 or 1000 or whatever the hell it's called, and that thing sounded really, really good. Now I don't know how it would stack up against pedals. You'd have to A/B them, but I'm sure they're way, way better now. You know. But as far as the pedal brand, like, I don't care. Like, if I got a Joyo pedal that sounds great, I'm fine with it. You know.
Oh yeah, yeah. But for me, it's certain companies can't make certain effects, in my opinion.
Well, everybody has their strengths. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, people love the
like I don't
Joyo.
I just don't.
Oops. I think I couldn't hear that. What was that?
What was that, Brent?
Like, I won't use MXR pedals for my dirt. You know, any of my gain stages. I'm just not a fan. I really like Electro Harmonics, what they're doing on the dirt side of their overdrives that are affordable. You know, of course, we'd all love to have hand-wired boutique pedals that are going to sound that much better, but I'm also not going to be toting around an $8,000 pedal board to bar gigs.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know. Like, I think probably of all the pedals, dirt is the most personal. You know what I mean? Because, like, what sounds good to me might, like, a phaser is a phaser, a chorus is a chorus for the most part, or delay. But
no, I have to disagree on that.
No,
but remember, I use a lot of modulation, so I'm a modulation snob. There's your subgenre snob. I'm not just a pedal snob. I'm a modulation snob.
Well, the only thing, okay, like for delay, where I guess I'm a snob is the sense that I don't like digital delay. I like analog delay. I like natural decay. Yeah, because it's, I mean, unless I'm playing a bunch of U2 or whatever, I don't want digital delay, you know. But, you know, when you got enough stuff going on, the only person that's going to know that I'm using an analog delay is me. Nobody else knows. That being said, because I use dirt as my primary effect, I'm way more concerned with my dirt tone.
Sure.
I'll go through 1,000 dirt pedals to find the right one, whereas I may go through 2 or 3 delays and I'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? I'm more specific dirt.
Yep. Yeah, I can understand that, because for me, like 90% of my music I play, I have an analog delay on a single repeat, and that's a carbon copy. But it seems like anytime I have to play a Joe Walsh solo, I need the digital delay on 4 to 5 repeats for that exact mirroring, you know, that you can only get with the digital delay, because I'm doing like the solo to In the City, where, you know, and where you got these big, huge bends that are supposed to repeat themselves. So it's like, I only use a digital delay when I have to, because that's what the song warrants.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I did a whole thing on that the other day. I did a whole show on tone the other day, and how, you know, you have to have, I'm not saying it has to be record perfect, like match, because that's impossible to match the tone for every song you play. I mean, if you do 60 songs a night, Jesus, you can't do it. But at least come within the ballpark, right? You know. So I just want to say hello to a few more people that have popped in since we started going here. Mark Dillon is here. How are you? Gussie Wells. Nice to see you. And there's been a couple of comments that came up. But if anybody's got any questions, or if, you know, make it real clear for me to see it, please tag me at Guitar Hack, or if it's for Guitar Pit, at the Guitar Pit, or at Ben.
Jason Wade says, did I get rid of the East Coast yet? No. And I think I'm going to try to fix it up. But those 2 videos have done really well. So I think I'll probably make some comparison videos with it or something. But it's not that bad. It's fine. I mean, it's a cheap guitar, but it's tolerable. I just need to fix that 1 fret, and I don't know, maybe switch to tuners. But for the most part, I thought it sounded pretty good, and it played all right, and the fretboard was cool. But that video is super popular, so I better keep making East Coast videos. So,
yeah, no kidding.
So Jimmy's got a question. It's for me, but I'll address everyone. I'm not even quite sure what he's asking, to be honest. He says, are 6X preamp tubes too many? Is he asking if 6 preamp tubes too many? I tried to drop to 4, but can't hack it. 6 preamp tubes is a lot of preamp tubes. Normally they're 4.
Some of those like Mesa Boogies and stuff, they got a ton of them, I think.
Is it 100 for maybe for a 100-watt head? Because if you've got anything less than that, 4 is.
I had a Mark 400-watt, and I don't remember how many tubes were in there, but it was a ton. And it was an early Mark IV, because I guess they switched them to 75 watts after that. But I remember looking in that thing, and there was just like a huge line of tubes in there.
Yeah, if you want to clarify that. Oh, Dave Byron's here. Hey, Dave, how are you, man? We got 39 people watching, folks.
Oh, yeah.
This is
and
great.
Apparently also checking in is Absolute Mayhem. If you guys can make this out, he just sent me this photo.
Yeah.
Mayhem!
Shirt. He's got my old Ibanez. Yeah, he looks happy.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like he's a happy guy. That's awesome. Oh, Jimmy T, Marshall head and Marshall J&P preamp is 6 preamp tubes. Okay. Okay.
Do you have to change them all out at the same time? Or can you just replace a tube?
No. Preamp tubes, okay, I'm no expert, but from what I know, preamp tubes, basically you only change them when they get flaky on you, and it'll be like they all control a segment of the amp. They're not.
I see.
They're not like power tubes, right? Like if you notice that the amp just doesn't sound like it should, 9 times out, but everything is functioning fine. It's the power amp tubes that have to be replaced.
I see.
Preamp tubes and power amp.
There's absolutely in the chat.
Hey, and power amp tubes.
It looks like Bruce is in here as well. Suave Trainwreck, good to see you.
Suave Trainwreck, how are you? Yeah,
I see someone saying hi, but since I'm stuck on bloody top chat because I think my touchpad's not working now.
Full meltdown over there.
Just to finish what I was saying, that the power amp tubes are the ones that will wear out over time.
Yeah, right.
Years and years, unless something just doesn't work on the amp.
I see.
Will Varela asks a question for me, but I'll post it to you guys as well. How many pedals do you really need in general? It seems there's a new one every month. Well, there's a new pedal that comes out every month. But for me, I'm at 11. But I use all of them. No, but I use them all, man. I don't use the multi-effects. To cover.
I could probably get away with a gig with 7. Like I'm taking a tuner, a low gain, high gain, a lead boost, chorus, phaser, and a delay.
Okay, you can get away with either chorus or a phaser.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't.
Or neither.
Oh, definitely not. No, the chorus is used for, like, we do a couple reggae type songs, so you got to have that chorusy sound. And come on, I do the lead part on ELO. Oh Jesus, what's the name of the song? Do ya? Richie hits those first 3 chords. I got to have that phaser to do that slide down the neck.
Yeah. Well, in a what do you call it? In a pinch, though, you can because I do some phaser stuff and I fake it with a chorus. I'm probably gonna get a chorus though. I was
gonna say, yeah, I suppose like if you turn the depth right down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You can fake it. That's what I'm saying.
But I'm also the guy that has a chorus, a phaser, a flanger, and a vibe on my board.
Well, you know what? If you do a song that features that effect, then you got to have it, right?
Yeah. Okay. No, there is currently no flanger. I do my flanger stuff with the phaser.
So, and like I did a board thing the other day, but I've like overdrives. I've got just overdrives alone. I've got 3 of them, and then I got a boost. So there's 4 right there just for dirt, right? And then I've got a delay. I got a compressor. I could probably get away without no, I need the compressor for clean boost. So I really need them all.
Yeah.
And I'm
if you keep wondering, my board is on the floor behind me. So I'm looking currently there's 5 distortions and overdrives plus a soul food, which is my lead boost. But I currently don't use. I have a dime bag distortion on my board that I currently don't use. I thought I was going to use it for one song a night because I need like heavy gain for once a night. But I replaced it with a Boss Mega Distortion, which is currently occupying the slot for my noise gate.
So now everybody's chiming in with all the tubes in their amps. So Dave said he's got an old Fender Twin Head 6. And Riley Iowakura is his Hughes and Kettner Triamp has 9 preamp tubes and 6 power tubes. Oh my God.
Well, that thing has a ton of stuff going
It's
on.
got,
right? Yeah.
The more features you have, the more preamp tubes you're going to have, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
We got a bunch of people jumping in too. Did we see Brian Stewart, Brian Cote, Sean Zimmerman?
No, man. I'm just catching up now. Rando's in the house as well. Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
I saw somebody commented, I don't see the need for 20 pedals on a board. Well, like for Hack and myself, where we're playing multiple sets of covers, and you're covering, 4 or 5 decades of music?
Easily.
It's more just so you're not spending half the night bent over switching up knobs on distortion and overdrive pedals. You just have a few basically presets in place.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Saboteur.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Hey, Saboteur's music. Yeah. And I was saying this the other day, like if you're up there gigging and you got people up on the dance floor, they don't want to wait 3, 4, 5 minutes for you to reach down and turn a bunch of knobs and whatever. Like it's got to be like, you got to be a jukebox, right? You got to keep pounding them out. You know what I mean? You got to, once you establish that momentum, you got to keep it going.
Sounds like you guys need an axe effect.
I was waiting for that.
and you can get that in a Variax or whatever that wacky guitar is. I've never tried one of those, but apparently you can just switch a knob and it says
wins the chat.
Telly, banjo, or whatever you want, and tunings.
Harp. I want to sound like a harp now.
I think it literally has a sitar on it. No exact.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we were looking about getting into some of those like Electro-Harmonix B9, C9 pedals and stuff like that. And, BB Ninja says he claims the 5th on how many pedals he owns. Because, I get that. I bet you he's well over 100.
Yeah. All my pedals, I mean, the only pedals that I don't have on a board is my Ditto looper, and I got another overdrive. Everything else is, I use it all. And in the course of a night, I will have hit every pedal on that board. There's nothing on there that's just there for decoration. The last thing I want is something on there for decoration. Just makes it heavier to carry, man. It's like,
your entire inventory really is all needed. Like it's either a primary or a backup for something.
Yeah.
Like you don't have surplus gear.
No, I got
maybe technically you have a surplus Les Paul because you have multiple, but
slow down.
And even then, I'm only saying you only have one surplus because you got to have a primary and a backup Les Paul.
No, the only thing that I'm guilty of having a lot of are guitars. But but as far as like pedals and amps and stuff like that, I really don't have a ton. I've got more guitars than anything.
I don't need any of mine.
What's that?
So we got a couple of people joining in the chat. Earl Painter, hello. And then John Harden, like a true drummer, says, I played music for 30 years, no pedals. Drummer, really? So what do you use to hit your kick drum with? That's a pedal.
He tied it.
Haha.
Checkmate.
Oh, that's funny. Hey, Todd Soda Pop, a.k.a. Soda Pop. I haven't said hello. How are you, man?
Hey, Soda Pop and Rob Franklin. Jeez, we got all kinds of people jumping in.
We got 46 people here. This is crazy.
Nice.
Wow.
Leave Hack a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's, people are getting caught up on the holiday season, I think, because last weekend compared to this weekend, I noticed being live the same time of day. I think I had like 35 people watching last Sunday, but last night I was getting almost 60 people watching.
Yeah.
And I think it is like, we're okay. The initial holiday rush, everyone's freaking out. I got to do this. I got to do this. Well, a lot of those items are checked off the list so we can kind of get back into our normal routines for a week or so anyways.
Yeah. of watching streams 6 hours a day.
Well, yeah. Hopping from chat to chat.
Yeah, a very healthy routine.
You getting yourself a special guitar for Christmas?
Oh man!
Is that why you're searching today? Is that?
No, I got to sell something first. I don't really even have anything in mind. I'm super happy with that Luke, to be honest. I've been playing it a lot.
Hey, what happened with that one that was one of your guitars? I forget which one it was. That the neck shrunk on it or something.
Yeah, I didn't get that fixed yet.
It's still it never recovered, eh?
Let's find out.
Okay.
Well, I did do some holiday shopping today, Pepper.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we picked up Richie's Christmas gift. If you guys can see this, it's Christmas lights on a guitar strap, and they light up.
It's supposed to be a surprise.
There's a USB cable, so it's got obviously has a rechargeable battery somewhere if it's got a USB.
Yeah.
From Perry's Leathers.
So what's the verdict, Chris?
A little scratchy. It's not that bad, but it's an all rosewood neck, so maybe it's more susceptible to that sort of thing. But it actually doesn't feel as bad as that one night where I picked it up and went, "Oh no!" I think that was literally the night I was on your stream, or maybe the night before. Right. But it just needs a little work. But this neck is so good, though. It's just one of those guitars where I'll probably just always keep it, just because you got to have one JP6. I know it's probably not either of your style, but this guitar can do so many things that, again, guess what it would be perfect for? Maybe somebody who plays a wide variety of music live. So you just hit, there's like real quick little switches that you can just flick on, and it just totally different. And so it's a super cool guitar. I highly recommend him, but I don't know, the fret thing on this is just, it's not great, but it's not.
I just realized too, here we are stowing upon our huge pedal boards saying, we need all this variety because we play covers, yet between Les Pauls and Tellys, which we mainly play, two of the least versatile sounding guitars, really.
Well, but I tell you, like, I mean, I use my Les Paul every possible, like, I'm not one of these guys. I can't, just put it on the bridge pickup and play the whole night. I don't do that. I go through all the positions. Yep. I vary the knobs. Like I have to do all that stuff, and I can get away with everything on that guitar. Like, it's more versatile than you think. You know what else is really an SG, man? You can do a lot of stuff with an SG. Yeah,
because they're just that little bit brighter.
You know what I mean? You know what the SG really excels is when you're playing like, if you're doing like not rock, like when we do, for example, Boys, the Beatles, and I play those really clean kind of 50s leads, the Scotty, the Elvis kind of stuff.
Yeah, yep.
You know what I mean? It's got that tone in spades. Like, you wouldn't expect that out of an SG. And then, of course, it's going to sound great when you do the AC/DC and all that. But, yeah, like, it can do a lot, that guitar. I'll tell you what, you're gonna get upset, but what the guitar I find more limiting than a Les Paul is a Telecaster.
I know it is.
Right? Because you don't have the beef. You don't have the beef in that guitar.
Yeah, but you see people using Tellys with just all sorts of stuff, though. I even see people playing like metal with them. So you can force them to do a lot of stuff, but
you can get I've got the stock pickups in mine. I'm sure you can get hotter pickups than what I've got in mine. But you hit a power chord on a Telly and you hit a power chord on a Les Paul, and it's night and day.
Oh yeah.
So that's the whole thing, right? But even a Strat too. A Strat just the beef isn't there, right? It's the same thing. But again, you can get a Strat with a humbucker in the bridge and you'd be fine.
That's what I found with the Luke. It's something about middle pickups I've never liked. They get in the way of the picking, and they're not something I go to. And single coils are kind of noisy, so I've always avoided them. but you can get so many different tones out of a loop. And so I'm actually kind of a convert to the HSS team.
Yeah.
And that was something I hadn't really tried at all before that guitar. Because that's like, I bought an HSS Strat once, and because that humbucker didn't really sound like a Strat, I was like, oh, this thing's no good. It's not even a real Strat. But it turns out, for versatility, it's totally worth it, and you can get just a really, really cool range of stuff out of here.
I'm just reading the comments here. Terry's saying, I disagree. A Telly with a set of Alnico 5s will be... Yeah.
I wanted to answer that. The majority of single coil pickups use Alnico 2, and the majority of humbuckers use Alnico 5. So there is that inherent... But some people use, obviously, either or magnet, especially aftermarket guys, right? Because that could be... You know, that's my shtick is I use Alnico 2 magnets and a humbucker, and then someone else say, hey, I use Alnico 5s and a single coil. Yeah, I started looking down that rabbit hole when I was designing pickups there a couple months back. So, yeah.
Well, the thing is, you know, like my point was with the stock pickups. And, you know, I'm not one to take a Telly and try to make it sound like another guitar. I mean, you buy a Telly because you want a Telly to sound like a Telly, and the same thing with a Strat. Like, you know, I bought a Strat because I wanted to sound like a Strat. You know, so when you have those that you know, that music that is more, you know, appropriate to a Strat or a Telly, you have those tones covered, right? I'm not into swapping out pickups and I want more meat out of this, you know, because I mean, like if you don't have the guitars and you have to have sort of that one trick pony, then that's fine. But if you have the option of actually having the different instruments, I'd rather keep everything stock. That's
and
just
to answer Brian Stewart, I'm sorry, we can't be friends anymore.
What happened? What do you say?
He says Telly's blow. There I said, except for that one Jimmy Page played.
Yeah. R2R3 says nobody likes pointy guitars. We don't have a lot. I got one.
This
pointy.
This is the pointiest guitar I own, and I do love it.
It's a pointy guitar.
And even then, I'm looking at it. It's not really pointy.
It's a pointy guitar.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
That's as pointy as it gets, I think. I guess maybe it's not like a Warrior or whatever. Or no, is it a Kelly? What's the R2 has a signature one that's pointy as hell. I forget what it's called though.
Signature V is pretty pointy.
Yeah, that's about as pointy as they come, I guess.
Beane Razorback's pretty pointy. It's got lots of points. It's got like dozens of points.
Yep. That's a little too many points for me. But I think R2's is like it's a Marty Friedman signature, but
Jackson or something.
It's a Jackson, but it's a different body style than I thought. I thought Marty Friedman had like a kind of single cut one. But I think his is like either a Jackson Kelly.
Jackson Kelly, Soda Pop was saying.
Okay, yeah. And it's cool. It's a cool signature. Plus it's a USA Jackson, so that is no joke. Those guitars are
Brian Stewart's telling you not to put your eye out with that thing, Chris.
It's very pointy, it's very reflective. It's got inlays everywhere. It's got double like abalone toilet seat binding.
Has Jay Hannon tried to buy that guitar off you yet?
Is who?
Has Jay Hannon tried to buy that guitar off you yet?
No, I would not sell this guitar. This guitar is
looking
kind of hard to replace, and the prices are going up, and it is the only 7-string I like. So this permanently prevents me from buying other 7-strings, because before I had this, I would go, I need a 7-string, buy one, hate it, sell it. And I was doing that constantly. So as soon as I found this, I was like, this is perfect. This is exactly how I want a 7-string to feel. I'm done. So I've had this for a while, and it's awesome. So because it's the only 7-string with a thin neck. Most 7-strings, even like the JP7, for example, that neck's pretty thick comparatively. So that's my pick, and it's very pointy. But
yeah, I believe you were bragging up that guitar in my chat earlier today.
If I showed up to a bar gig with
was.
If I showed up to a bar gig with that, they'd be running for the hills for the exit. the hell's this guy gonna play?
Yeah.
So BB Ninja makes a comment that I just wanted to address. He's saying, sorry, but Telly's far more versatile than Les Paul's. Far rather than I'd rather have a Telly in studio than an LP if I only had to use one. Yeah, Tellys are versatile, but you can't argue the fact that they're thinner. That's all I'm saying. It's a thinner guitar.
You just turn up your low end a little.
Unless you hot rod it, right? You know, put a beefier pickup in. That's all I'm saying. I got nothing against Tellys, man. I own one, you know. So, yeah.
I kind of wanted to see the Greg Koch Telly Fishmans, but I haven't had a chance to try one of those yet. But might be cool.
I didn't have the heart to ask Greg if I could borrow his guitar to try those pickups when I met him.
Do it.
He's like, oh yeah, you know, he's like, yeah, man, you know, these are great pickups. And I tell you, it's really hard to not buy a set when Greg Koch is giving you the hard sell. You know, because he's like, check it out.
I thought that sentence was going somewhere else.
That's you. That's not me. That's you, buddy. I aspire one day, maybe. You know?
Yeah. No, those Fishmans are cool, man.
Yeah, that's what pedals are for.
I just love the charging system. It's what the micro USB port is built right into the output jack dish.
Yeah, on that
Brilliant.
one, which is cool. On Strats, it's a back plate, but they charge you like another $80 for that. So now we're talking $350, $380. I mean, that's big money for pickups. So I haven't tried those, but I've never heard a single bad thing about them from anybody.
No.
Everybody loves them. So I don't know.
Yeah. I've not heard anything negative either.
Yeah. I had the Moderns in a guitar, and those were cool, but they were very modern. So they did just that thing well, but that was about it.
Dennis Brio asks, if you guys are going to sell a guitar, do you use reverb? Personally, I use Kijiji, which is like Craigslist in Canada.
Yeah, that's
I only sell stuff locally, local pickup. I'm not shipping anything.
Yeah. Do you have people coming over that kind of kick the tires and leave, though? Because I was dealing with too much of that, and I gave up on it.
I've had that happen. You know, you like, one thing I never do is I never meet at my house.
Smart.
Yeah. Right? I'll meet at another location or whatever. And if it's an electric guitar, and I learned this tip, is I'll meet them at a music store.
Yeah. Smart.
And we just plug into an amp right there, right?
Yeah.
But I tell you, I've had the last couple of times, I was selling a Les Paul. This killed me. I was selling a Les Paul. This is like just before Christmas last year. And I met this kid at a music, and it was like Christmas Eve or like right before Christmas, right? And I, you know, so you're busy, you know, it's Christmas, whatever. But the kid really wanted to buy the guitar, so I meet him out there. He takes it out of the case, like, man, this thing's fun. And he had a guitar on hold. He's like, I'm going to cancel that. I want this one. Plugs it in. I love it. I'm like, okay, where's the money? Oh, I got to go to the bank machine. Really? You're going to go to the bank machine. Now, the bank machine, you're only allowed out a maximum, I think, is $400 or $500 a day, right? Mm-hmm. How many bank machines are you going to hit? And you're not going to get 500 from every other bank. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, like my Christmas Eve, I had to go out. It was for nothing. And then the kid, get this, the kid came over because he texted me like 100 times that day for me not to sell it to anybody. He came over on, I kid you not, Christmas Day with an envelope full of cash to pick up that guitar. Is that crazy?
Was it the right amount?
Yeah, man.
Oh, that's the shocking part of that story. Not Christmas, is that he showed up with the amount that you're bringing.
He picked it up, and he gave me exactly what I asked for it. So it can be frustrating, but sometimes you get lucky, right?
Yeah, and it's a lot cheaper.
Says he meets in a public place with his THR-10 with batteries. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I generally meet in a Tim Hortons parking lot, and I'm not lying.
Never done that.
But even locally, it's like, hey, let's meet at Tim Hortons. Which one? And you have to figure out which of the 10 locations in your small town you're going to meet at.
Yeah.
And then I have my little battery powered orange amp I can show up with. But generally, I don't really care how it sounds like plugged in. because if there's something messed up electronic wise, I can take care of that. I like to hear the guitar unplugged to begin with. And if I can be in a crowded parking lot, strum some chords and hear it, you know it's resonating enough that it's worth buying.
So Terry is saying that meeting in a store is a dick move. So Terry, what if I tell you that I'm good friends with the manager in that store and I have full permission to do that? Does that still make me a dick? Just saying. Anyways.
Are we going to allow to show that comment?
No.
Okay.
I had to address it though because I don't like being called a dick.
Let's fight. Are you local?
Yeah. I'll drive over there.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, so you know that's one, because one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to bring somebody into your into your house. Like that's just not. But
yeah, I also have my storage unit. I'll meet people over there. I have power there. I have a bit of gear there, so I can plug in an amp or something. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Tim Hortons parking lot thing too. Like, I was selling an acoustic guitar for like $200,
mm-hmm.
and a guy meets me at a parking lot, and you know it's like it's a major purchase, and he's and then he's telling me like all the bands he plays. Give me his resume, like, buddy, I'm not here for that. Do you like the guitar? Yeah. Want to buy the guitar? You know what I mean? Oh, I play with these guys. I don't care who you play with. Do you want the guitar, don't you? And it was a younger guy, right? So, and then he's like, well, think about it. He gives it back to me. Not 2 hours go by, I get a call from an older guy with cash. And he didn't even want to try it. He's like, yeah, I'll take it. Just because it's $200.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Like meet back with the original guy multiple times?
Yeah, to make sure that he likes it. Like, come on.
That's insane. Yeah, no way.
I'm not gonna do that.
Super weird. Yeah, and that way everybody saves a little money, because obviously with reverb you get fees and shipping and all that. So people, and it happens to me a lot, is people watch the video and I usually tell them exactly what I bought it for. So the Strandberg, for example, I think I said, I paid $17.50 plus shipping or something like that. And then they see me post it for $18.30 or something. And they send me an offer for $17.30 or whatever and say, hey, I know what you paid for it. Like, no, I'm not going to make any money. I'm going to lose $100 still marking it up from what I bought it from. So I feel bad, but I got to post it for above what I paid, or I'm going to eat it every time. And if I eat it every time on these videos, I'll be in big trouble. So,
not to mention, it's irrelevant what you paid for the item.
Well, it's what I agree with that, but
plus the prices go up and down all the time, right?
Sure, and it depends on how many are for sale, especially on weirder guitars. If there's 5 of them for sale, you get to undercut it. But if there's just one, you gotta get in there.
Like being in a group of small towns in this area, of course, the majority of the stuff you see locally is your lower end stuff that goes to the music store, sold every day. But it's funny because every time there's a decent piece of gear, there's a 50-50 chance I already know the guy, because you're like, oh, there's Bob's guitar for sale, or there's Frank's amp. I've been trying to buy that on him.
Rent's coming up.
Or a band breaks up and you see gear for sale. You're like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. Well, I guess we're gonna buy some stage lights, pretty cheap, folks.
Yeah. Get those monitors and that PA for nothing. Yeah.
We actually, Richie did that. He answered a Kijiji ad and picked up a pair of stage lights on our way to a gig. So our first time trying them out was during sound check.
Right. You could always play in the dark, though. It's more moody or something.
Usually do. We're in the dark anyways, mentally, so we might as well play in the dark. Nothing to see here.
Funny.
So I got a couple of things on my radar, but I don't know if anything's going to happen. But
okay.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Well, okay, the Fender Meteora is still percolating, but that's too damn expensive, man. That I don't know what they sell that for in the U.S., but that guitar here is $2,600.
Yep, I think you're right. Because I looked them up after you telling me about them.
Yeah,
thinking, oh, that looks pretty cool, and it's serious money.
Yeah, that's big bucks.
Yeah. It's cool though. It's really cool.
Yeah, it is very cool. And then the other one that I'm looking at that you know what, but I think I mentioned this to Ben too. I probably won't get my hands on one until next year. Is the 2019 Les Paul Classic, because it's got zebra 61 zebras on it, and I believe they're also satin finish.
And
so
Classic would still have binding and inlays and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Or
it's full. Yeah, it just doesn't have the. I don't believe. Or I might have the pickup splitting. I'm not even sure. I'm just curious to hear what it would sound like with those pickups, because I've never heard those pickups. And that would have to be a Les Paul for Les Paul. I'd have to sell one to get that one.
What's the difference of, like, what pickups do they have now, and what does that one have? They have burst buckers in them or now?
Well, it depends. Like they've come with 498 500T.
Okay.
In the past, they've come with I believe 57. Yeah, 57s. And what they'll do is they'll put an Overwand 57 in the bridge. It's a hot one. The standards come with the Burst Bucker Pros, but they usually put a different pickup in the classics. So I'm just a little curious to see what these pickups. And in the last year's classic, they did the P90s, and I bought one of those. That's the kit I was talking about. That's why I sold that Les Paul, so I could get a classic with the P90s. So
that's cool.
Yeah. So, and then the other thing that's on, I'm thinking about, you know, the new DSL 20 watt Marshall DSL 20 watt heads. I'm thinking about getting one of those and just gigging with that, because man, like my amps are just overkill. Like, it's too much. You know, I don't need half of that. I mean, I'm turning my amps to 2, maybe 3. You know, like, why do I gotta lug this? You know, just a little lunchboxy thing, you know, and just doing it with that, like.
Yeah. And some of those, does that one have like a half or quarter power? Some of those amps are 20 watts, but then they have a little switch where you can hit it to 1 or something.
I can go on the 50 watt. I can go 50 watt. I could go 10 watt. I could go 1 watt.
Oh,
but you're still carrying this.
Yeah, it's huge. It's probably like 40 pounds, right?
It's, you know what? It's funny. This I think my Marshall is actually a little bit lighter than my Hughes and Kenner.
Wow, man.
And the Hughes and Kenner is like a much smaller package, right? So
yeah, but dense, and it's probably got a ton of those tubes back to earlier, right?
I know the Hughes and Kenner, it's 2 power tubes and 4 preamp tubes. I'm not sure the Marshall here. I'm not sure. I've not opened one up. Soda Pop is asking if I have an SG. Yeah, I have an SG, yes. I've had one for a while. I haven't played it in a long time. I might start breaking that one out. The SG is always a little bit of an adjustment, though, when you first pick it up. Because of the neck, you know.
Yeah.
I'm in the wrong place there for a while until I figure out that, okay, you know, your hand position has to adjust. But it's a great sounding guitar. Oh, Jimmy T's saying the Marshall DSL 20 had some cool info on the Marshall forum, including internal. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I've heard nothing bad, I should say, about the DSL.
Would you consider like a Runt 20 or something, like a Friedman?
Yeah, you're killing me, buddy. I could buy 3 of those for the price of a Runt.
Really? The Runts on Reverb are like $900, I think. Here, how much is a DSL 20?
The DSL 20 here, I'm going to say about $600 or $700.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Runt.
Yeah.
I think I saw one. Was it $1,500?
Ooh, yeah. Well, I guess
there.
I guess Canadian it would be 1350, 14 would be pretty low.
Yeah. So Brian Stewart is saying that he absolutely loves his Hughes and Kenner Tube Meister 36. Yeah. Yeah, he was on the fence about that, and I was saying that I had one, and it's great. The Hughes and Kenner stuff is really, really good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those are big money too, though, right? A couple of them I know are a fortune.
Well, the Tube Meister 36 watt head that I've got, I think new it's about $1,100 or $1,200 for 36 watts. I got mine used though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I was looking at the one that has like all those channels in it. There's one that has like a ton of stuff, and that was huge money. And I thought, oh, okay.
Yeah, well, there's the one that China Guitar Skeptic just did a review on, the Spirit.
I'm not familiar. Yeah.
Black Spirit 200 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
solid state, but wow, nice tone for solid state.
Like the Hughes and Kettner, the Tube Meister is sort of like it doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles. It has a red box out. It has a line out. But it doesn't have any MIDI in it, and it doesn't have any built-in effects. I mean, if you want to call reverb an effect, but it doesn't have any of that. The Grandmeister, that has a lot of like built-in effects. It's MIDI controlled. It's just a lot more bells and whistles. And like I'm a dinosaur, like I don't use any of that stuff. So for me, the Tube Meister is fine. Like the tones out of both amps. I never played a Grandmeister. Oh no, I have played a Grandmeister. I don't find like a huge difference. Right, you're just paying more for the bells and whistles, but a lot of the what do you call it? A lot of these H&Ks, they have they pound a lot of features into some of these amps, and then they get pretty pricey. Yeah. Oh, Terry's got some prices here. The $679 for DSL, so I wasn't too far off. $679 for DSL head, $799 for a DSL combo. Yeah.
And I was thinking about the Triamp. Is what
well, that's the one that does
$4,000.
Yeah, that's the one that I forget who mentioned. It's got like 9 preamp tubes or something ridiculous.
Well, I suppose, because especially if it's not sharing anything from channel to channel, right?
I don't think so. No,
it's all standalone.
Yeah.
Well, Brian Fingerless Guitars asking me, and I'll ask you guys: have you tried any of the Marshall Origin series amps? Okay, hang on, I got to do this. Okay, hang on a sec.
Oh,
look at that. See, I told you it's big.
That's big.
How big that is?
Yeah.
So that's
serious.
I haven't tried one myself.
That's the 50 water. Right? I absolutely love it, but it's not a high gain amp at all.
Right.
Not a high gain amp. You can get at best, I call it AC/DC French.
Yeah.
Right. So, if you want to play anything heavier than that, then you've got to, you got to get pedals. Whereas a DSL head, and I'm a big fan of DSLs because most of the time, the rehearsal places that I play, it's DSL. And I'll play out of a 100-watt head and a 412 cab, and they sound fantastic. and there's all kinds of dirt on those amps. Like you're never gonna, you won't fall short of dirt. So Brian Fingerless Guitar, yeah, I've tried one. I have one. I absolutely love it. Love it. I did a video.
I like it too as a good pedal platform.
And it's the Hughes and Kettner is a great pedal platform, and that Classic Origin and the DSLs are all amazing pedal platforms.
Yeah.
All of them.
I was just reading there. BV was saying there was a fire at B&G Guitars today. A spark got into the nitro wood shavings, caught fire, but fortunately nobody was hurt. Well, that's good to hear. Terrible about the fire, but good that nobody was hurt.
Jason Wade is saying the H&K 20 model is a good little pickup as well. It has the red box in it too.
And JK is saying that PRS MT15. I haven't tried that. Have you guys heard anything?
20. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the deal with that? That's kind of a budget but modern high gain sort of.
Phil McKnight did stuff on that, and like that. I've not seen one and I haven't played one, but apparently, like, it's 15 watts. Let's do it justice. It's super loud.
Super loud, yeah.
And it's supposed to be really, really good with a lot of crunch.
I kept hearing people compare it to like stuff that's twice as expensive, so that might be a really good pickup.
And I think they actually sold out of them.
Oh shoot!
They were selling like that. That well, that they were selling out of them.
Check, let's see if Sweetwater has one.
Sweetwater
has them.
Oh, yeah?
$649 for the,
yeah. So, well, there's US, so that would probably be like almost $1,000 for us.
Yeah.
Jimmy T had a used DSL for 15 years. Great amp. Yeah, I agree. They're fantastic.
It's hard to believe they've been around that long, eh?
The DSLs, yeah.
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 Like I still think of them as being out within the last 5 years, and then it's like, oh wait a minute, they're on their 3rd or 4th generation. Never mind.
Did you see Riley's rundown of the tubes on the Triumph?
6L6s, the L34s, the L84s, KT88.
Oh my God.
If you can't get a tone out of that amp, forget it.
Crazy. Unbelievable. Anyways, sorry. What were you saying?
Wow, Terry went up with the, what was it? The Randall 667, 9 12AX7s, 4 6L6s. Jesus. But it's what? 6 channels plus 6 modes plus 4 or 7 MIDI assignable channel functions. Yeah, so you're getting into a little more than just an amp there, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
That's not an amplifier. That's a tube PA. That's what that is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I had to learn a little bit about amps when I was having a problem with my combo amp, and that's when I kind of learned that. And again, I'm not an expert, but every preamp tube is basically there for like a function, you know? So like the more functions you have, the more preamp tubes you're going to have. BV Ninja is asking all of us, are you or anyone in the chat getting the 50th anniversary White album?
Probably.
2 guys in my band are Beatle freaks, and I know they've got it. I wasn't planning on it, no.
I might, because that's one of the few albums that both my parents bonded over. They both were huge fans of that album, so that album always reminds me of my parents. So just on a personal level, not even as a Beatles fan, but yeah.
I haven't bought an album in a long time. Spotify, but if it's on there, I don't know. Were Beatles one of the bands that you couldn't get on streaming things? That might be true.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I think there was
most of the albums I've bought the last few years, it's all been local bands, essentially. You know, band or a band coming through on tour. You know, I'll buy a T-shirt and a CD because that's gas money to get them to the next gig. Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I have a couple like records that are framed on the wall. And that's it.
Yeah.
All my other physical media is gone.
Talking about history, Ben, Sean Zimmerman was saying that the DCL was JCM 2000 dual Super League first.
Okay.
So that's what came from.
Okay.
Oh, Empirism. I hope I'm saying that right.
Empirism, I'd say so.
Yeah.
Hello. Welcome.
He actually released, for those of you that don't know, please sub to Empirism. Sub to everybody, actually. We're all, guitar-related people in the chat. He put out a one of these friendly challenges. So if you haven't participated in that, I'm going to try to do one. And Dave Byron did another one as well. So I'm going to try to put something together when I get a chance for those two. So,
yeah, I got to get on those more. I saw Dave Byron's and downloaded it and noodled for a minute, and then I got sidetracked and never got around to it.
Yeah.
Your answer, Will, I'm a fan of both the Beatles and the Stones. And yes, you could be a fan of both.
Yeah, why not? Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, Brian Stewart got some good records on vinyl. Kiss Destroyer and Cheap Trick live at Budokan.
Ooh, nice.
What's wrong with that? I'm a little biased, though, I got to admit. Yeah. They have it at Cosmo. Brian Cote, what do they have at Cosmo?
Everything?
Pretty much.
What don't they have at Cosmo? It's a shorter list.
Yeah, yeah.
This is the album I use to block my computer button. Because I have a power button on top of my computer that my cat steps on. So this sits on top of my computer to prevent it from turning off. Sad.
Anyway, guys, we're 5 minutes over the hour, and it's up to you. We can shut her down now, or if you guys want to go a few more minutes, let me...
That's purely up to you.
Let me know.
It's up to the good folks in the chat.
I will probably hop off, but I'll leave you guys to it for as long as you can tolerate each other.
Well, then we're going right until we both go live again on Thursday.
Yeah, straight through.
Yeah,
legendary.
Thursday, yeah.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah. It's Todd Soda Pop Guitar Hack. Who is your favorite guitarist in Kiss besides Ace? Well, that's pretty easy. It's going to be Bruce Kulick.
You know, I'm going to actually say Paul Stanley. Paul Stanley is a very underrated player, I think.
I think he meant lead player, but yeah, I know where you're going. Yeah.
He never said lead. Well, in that case, then let's go with Mark St. John.
Really?
Just because nobody remembers Mark St. John, right?
I met him many times. I met him a few times. I've met everybody in the band at one time or another. I actually spent some quality time with Bruce Kulick. He was playing with Grand Funk, and I was with someone who was buying one of his stage-played guitars that he was going to play that night. And I actually played his guitar. And we not jammed, but kind of, because, yeah, kind of we jammed a little bit, really. Yeah, that was kind of cool, actually. He's a really nice guy, Bruce Kulick, man.
Yeah, he seems that way.
Yeah, so... Oh, Brian Stewart, Vinnie Vincent, eh? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Vinnie Vincent is a very controversial figure in the world of Kiss.
All right. If I can't choose Ace and we got to choose a lead player, I'll go with Bob Kulick.
Who's never
because he can play just as good as Ace.
Oh, yeah. Well, his solos on side 4 of Alive 2 are unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, JJ says the jams.
Hey, JJ, how are you, man? So, yeah, if anyone's got any questions, hey, Will Varell, I'm not touching that.
Yeah.
If you got any questions, yeah, please go at Ben Coombs or put at the Guitar Pit or at Vinny's Weird.
Yeah, I'm not in the chat, but I'll still see it.
Yeah, yeah. Or at the Guitar Pit or at the Guitar Hack. Too many guitar names. Yeah, Vinny, well, I don't want to turn this into a Kiss thing, but yeah, Vinny could play fast, but it also, my thing with Vinny was there was no melody in what he played. It was just like playing fast for the sake of playing fast. And I don't know, you got to
see with a lot of fast players, they lose the melodic sides at times.
Yeah, it's got to be tasty, man. It doesn't matter how fast or slow you play. It's got to be tasty, and he wasn't tasty. Right. You know,
untasty.
He was untasty.
It's a very damning review of a guitar player.
So what do you think of this guy? He's rather untasty.
Not untasty.
Yeah.
Oh, Jimmy T's going to crack the hack. Hey, it's been a while, man. But Jimmy T,
bring it on.
He's been killing me with like the most obscure. How many cards in a deck of Kiss cards? Like, come on, really?
Oh, I know.
Come on, give me something I can work with here. Give me music related.
Oh, yeah, and we had what? Did Kiss ever have a #1 hit? Did Kiss ever have any serious accidents, read their explosions?
Okay, the most serious accident happened to Ace Frehley in Florida. He got electrocuted coming down the stairwell. He actually completed the circuit, and he passed out. And they were actually wheeling him out of the building, and then he revived and came back in and finished the show. And that's what he wrote. Shock Me was based on that incident.
Yep. Yeah. And Gene has singed his hair on occasion doing the fire breathing deal.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, there's been a couple of close calls over the years with their rising platforms. I know that.
Well, I know that somebody threw like one of these. It's an M80. It's like a bomb thing, like from the audience, and they threw it at Peter Criss.
Oh, jeez.
Knocked him right off his drums, and then the thing popped right by his head, and he couldn't hear for the rest of that night.
No doubt.
Yeah, and it took him a couple of days to get his hearing back. So, but as far as their own pyro, not that I'm aware.
Yeah. That stuff is choreographed out pretty damn good.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. GTV, Vinny. Oh, hey, GTV. Vinny Moore was fast and very melodic. Yes, Vinny Moore. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, dudes, I'm going to go cook some dinner.
Okay, man. Hey, thank you so much for popping in, brother. Really appreciate it.
Man.
You bet. Thanks for chatting. Good to chat with you guys, and good to talk to there was like, what, 50?
We're at 52 right now.
People. That's awesome.
52. Yeah. I think this is a record. I don't think I've ever cracked 50 in a live, so this is pretty cool.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you, everybody.
Well, yeah, have a good night, everybody, and see you guys next time.
All right, man. Thank you
Sounds
so
good,
much,
man.
buddy.
Cheers.
Take care. Yeah. So anything on your horizon there?
I'm just looking forward to NAMM. Once I get back from NAMM, we'll see. You know, that's what I've been saying about everything, whether it's gear or videos or just plans in general. I'm like, just talk to me after NAMM.
Yeah. Well, you're going to be exposed to a lot of stuff. A lot.
And I'm getting invited to stuff. Which is awesome. So yeah, our itinerary is filling up fast. JJ as my chauffeur.
Mhm.
We now have a place to hang out Thursday evening. We're probably going to a show that evening. Sean Pierce Johnson is playing a gig and has invited us. So,
Oh, that's awesome. Great.
yeah.
Yeah, I
And
was,
then,
I was so totally unaware of him until you did your thing today. I didn't know the hell that guy was.
Yeah, he's not new to YouTube, but a very well-kept secret, we'll call Sean, you know?
Yeah.
But I met up with him, I want to say on Cheddar's channel. I think he was just in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
And, he made a couple of remarks that I thought were quite funny. So I checked out his channel, and I was just like, oh, wow, okay, this, you expect to see your 30 to 50 subs of, somebody that's active in the chat or something. And he's got thousands. I'm like, oh, okay. And so I was like, oh, checked out his channel. He does a bunch of pedal reviews. We know I'm a pedal head. So I was like, oh, yeah, I'll get along with this guy. And then invited him on. And he's like, sure, I'd be glad to do it.
No, yeah, that's cool. Paul's Country, how are you, man? Paul's Country is here now.
Good to see you, Paul.
Yeah, the thing is, though, like all the stuff that you're going to see at NAMM, we probably won't see that. You probably won't be in the stores here until like a year later.
Well, you know what they say. NAMM stands for normally April, maybe May.
Yeah.
So that means June for us, unless it's Ibanez. The new Ibanez stuff will actually be out prior to NAMM. We get a sneak peek. The Ibanez rep for Canada does a mini NAMM type thing with just Ibanez in Montreal early January. So I was rather fortunate. I think it was my second show on YouTube. Sean from Arden sent me a bunch of pics of all the new Ibanez stuff. So I'm like, hey, folks, check this out. And the reissue of the 30th anniversary RG, that yellow.
Yeah.
He had one. He didn't tell me about it. He just hung it on the rack, and just to see if anybody would notice, he put it out on the stock floor about a week prior. You couldn't buy it, but it was there to be seen. And of course, I go walking in. I'm like, whoa, what is this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you're more than welcome, Riley. I agree. Sean deserves many more subscriptions and views and everything. He's a great guy.
Yeah. Well, I subbed to him today once I saw him on your, and that's good. I mean, it exposes, people like myself to somebody that I would not have known otherwise. So.
Exactly.
So that was cool. That was cool. The Origin app, that was at NAMM last year.
Right.
And we didn't, that was not available here until August or something.
Yeah.
And everybody, and it was in the US like a month or two before we had it here. So yeah, that's why I was saying, you don't see the stuff till way, way, way later. Here's a question. This last week, someone sent me a signed, this is BV Ninja, a signed Ibanez Steve Vai signature Gemini double distortion psychedelic pedal. Think only a few made in the mid 2000s.
I remember the pedal. Yeah, not a lot of them. That's really cool, BV. Really cool.
Yeah. The Jimmy T's asking, do you guys ever visit New York, or is it further than it looks? Yeah, it's further than it looks.
It's about 8 hours drive.
Yeah, it's very far. But I was in a couple of years ago. I went to Manhattan, and I checked out some of the music stores there, and I went to there's that what's that street that had all the famous street that had all the music stores?
48th Street.
Yeah, well now there's only one, and I think it was it either Rudy's or a Manny's? I can't even remember.
Yeah, and I think right around the corner is either a Guitar Center or a Sam Ash. They're in the neighborhood, but not necessarily on the street.
I went to the Guitar Center, And that's when I saw stuff that just blew my mind. It's like,
Yeah.
I had never seen Black Star. They had Black Star. I had never seen Zematis, all kinds of G&Ls, like all this stuff that we don't see because we got the Evil Empire and we've got like Steve's Downtown and you know what I mean, Cosmo, but there's so much stuff that we never see. We just don't see it. There's just not enough market share for them to bother bringing it up here, right?
There, Brian Stewart says Rudy's. Must have been Rudy's. Mayonnaise is closed. Guitar Center is close, and Sam Ash is up near Madison Square Garden. Okay, sure.
There was one. I was beside like a New York Performing Arts Center, something like this. That's the one I went to. It might have been. I think it was a Guitar Center. Yeah.
Old Man Dan's in the house.
Hey, Old Man Dan, how are you? Old Guy's Guitar Vlog is here too. How's it going?
And Will says Manny's music was the best. Wasn't it Manny's that Nesdal used to work at?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've never been to New York, and if I do, I'm just driving through New York to get to Nesdal's house.
You got it all there, yeah.
Yeah. He gave me a kind of an open invite. If you're ever in the area, and it's just like, you know what, I would really like to go visit Dave and Desiree at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And everyone else in that area, like he's got a lot of friends that are friends of the channel and stuff, like Pete Carucci and guys like that, and why not do it in the summertime and maybe see if I can see 3 or 4 of these people over a weekend.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice when everybody's kind of in the same sort of general area.
Well, it's like we were all on a hangout the other night, I remember, and it was like somebody asked, is there a bunch of Canadians in here? And I'm thinking, I think I counted 8 of us within 2 hours of Toronto.
Oh, somebody was saying, why the only Yank? Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
So no, you're not.
Honestly, that was Saturday night?
Geez, I can't remember. My memory's terrible, but that was very, like, within the last week or so, somebody was saying that. Old Guy's Guitar Vlog is saying, if I ever go to New York City, let me know. I'm an hour away. That's cool. Terrific.
And Will says all the great luthiers were on 48th Street. Yeah. Jason Wade. No, Ace will not be opening for Kiss.
No, that got kiboshed.
Yeah, that was almost as bad as Jakey Lee offered to open for the last Black Sabbath tour, or the last Aussie tour, whatever this Aussie tour is. The rumor has it they were offered $2,000 or $2,500 a night to open for Aussie. Really? And the first show was going to be in LA, and Jake's response was, it would take us more than that in cost just to fly everybody in for the show.
Doesn't even cover.
Because Jake's the only guy that's LA based. When his singer is in Oshawa, for God's sake. So,
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because Kiss announced the end of the road tour, and the big guy, their big thing was, you got to come and see us because we're never going to come back. It's that one night and we're gone. So, I got tickets to the show that they're doing. I think it's in May or something. So I got tickets to that show, right? So for myself and 2 other guys. So we get the tickets, and it's like, okay, yeah, been Kiss fans for years. It's like my 20th show or something ridiculous. So we buy the tickets. I kid you not even like 2-3 weeks go by, they announce we're coming back in August. It's like, so they just reneged on what they said. So they are actually coming to Toronto twice. Yeah. I
assume it's okay to show this off, BV. This is the gem pedal he was talking about, the Gemini. Gemini with a J.
Cool.
So there we go, folks. How cool is that? And yes, Will, you are an honorary Canadian. I remember that.
Yes. Yeah, he did the back bacon and the maple syrup, so he's yeah. Jason Wade, a lot of older bands on the circuit this coming year. Kiss, Iron Maiden's out. Yeah, Alice Cooper's going out with Ace Frehley. Somebody mentioned that. Yeah, they're still
It's
out.
amazing how Alice Cooper was going to retire, and then Kiss hit the scene, and he said, well, hey, I'm going to keep going. And Alice has basically outlasted everybody.
Yeah, I'm just laughing here because Brian Stewart is just giving Kiss a shit kicking. He's very anti Tommy Thayer.
Well, You know, Brian, there is one thing I will say about that whole situation. I'm really glad that Tommy Thayer signature Les Paul was an Epiphone, because I thought an imitation Les Paul for an imitation Ace.
You know what? All I can say is, you know, I'm an Ace guy, obviously. And yeah, I'd much rather see Ace in the band. That's hands down, yes. But there were some years there that there would be no Kiss if it wasn't for somebody stepping in. So now the fact that he basically copies Ace, you know, is kind of, yeah. But, you know, it's, yeah. You gotta take it with a grain of salt, I guess. And yeah,
and again, that's what he's hired to do. And if Tommy didn't do it, they would have got somebody else to do it.
Exactly. And Paul Stanley's voice, yeah, has been shot for several years. I saw Paul Stanley last year at Casino Rama, and it was painful. Like it was.
That's what I've heard.
It was painful, like, you know. And I'm sitting, and my wife actually came with me.
I don't know. I would assume it was that's a premium ticket to go see Kiss, and I'm almost thinking for X amount of dollars more, I might just go see the Stones next year.
Yeah, well, if they can still perform, and yeah,
exactly.
Copies him note for note while you're at the concert. Make notes of the riffs that Tommy wrote. It will be a short list.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, those weren't riffs. That was him tuning, and he forgot to mute his signal.
Jason White, I'll always have a special place for the original lineup of Kiss. No disrespect. Yeah, it's about the original lineup. For me, it's the original lineup, and it's the first the first albums right up to, I think, Alive 2, which is all the original ones. R2R3, do you own the first Ace Frehley? Oh, of course I do. Yeah, he actually performed that entire solo album at a Kiss convention they just had last weekend in Indianapolis. He's got a new band, and they did. I
have an original pressing of that solo album, because the first 10,000 came with a poster. Yeah, that the subsequent pressings didn't have, and I picked up that album at a used record shop, and I'm like, oh, there's a poster in here, and it already had the thumbtack holes in it, so it went straight up on my wall for years.
Well, that's one of 4. If you bought all 4 original albums, the 4 posters made like this mural.
Right, yeah, because it had a single poster on one side and the quarter of the big poster on the other side.
Yeah, so you put them all 4, and then you get this. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I couldn't get original pressings of all of them. Wow, Will saw Jimi Hendrix live for $6. You're just saying you're old, Will. That's all that's saying is you're old.
Jason Wade is asking, who has Fan of the Park? I do. I do too.
I think somebody may have downloaded a copy of that a few years ago from a certain Pirate Bay, perhaps, and subjected his fiance at the time to watching it. And maybe that's one of the reasons we're no longer together. That was a bad movie. Oh my God, that was a bad movie.
It was horrible. So Terry's saying you want Painful, Paul Stanley, Dave's Guitar. Yeah, Dave's Guitar Channel. I don't know if you're. Are you aware of Dave's Guitar Channel? Yep. That's the name of the channel. Yeah, that guy makes me laugh. I laugh out loud when I watch his stuff, because he just tells it like how he feels about it. And he was hammering on Kiss and Paul Stanley in the End of the Road, and I was just laughing my ass off. It's like, man. And then I commented to him. I always make comments on his videos, and he gets back to me once in a while. And yeah, I agree with a lot of what he says. But it's like anything. If it hits you at a certain time, it's going to be a lifelong thing, right? If it hits you at the right time, like my obsession with Les Pauls, it's because that was the Kiss thing. And like, see, I've been as Icemans. I mean, they're cool, but it's not a Les Paul for me. Like, it's the Les Paul thing. It's, you know what I mean? If it hits you at the right time, it's going to be a lifelong thing. So if it's a music that you listen to, or a guitar that your hero played, or whatever it might be, it's going to last a lifetime. Exactly. Yeah, he's African American in half the movie. Yeah, that's how bad that movie is. They couldn't even, a double that was, that looked like Ace. They had to.
Yeah, a double that wasn't a double.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it was definitely no Spinal Tap. Now, Spinal Tap, that's a serious documentary, is it not?
Yeah, it's very serious. Yeah.
That's what I thought, because I based my life as a musician on Spinal Tap.
Yeah, it's funny. Some of the stories too, like a lot of the bands were actually got offended because it hit too close to the bone, eh? You know, with a lot of the story. But
and I swear, most of that stuff, the funniest parts of Spinal Tap for me was all the quote unquote industry people and not the band themselves, because being around the music business and a little bit around the acting business, you see those fake people. Like, you know, I grew up in the 80s at the height of fake, you know, the people with the air kisses and, you know, all that. Yeah. So to watch that, I was just like, oh, yeah, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
A sleazeball and a satin jacket.
Paul Schaefer, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that character is right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was right on. Yeah. And the guitar, that, you know, the amps that go to 11, and then he pulls out that 59 Les Paul. He goes, listen, do you hear that? This is Sting.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, that was a classic movie. Yeah.
Great movie. Yeah.
Another reason to buy Scott Nickerson loves Spinal Tap. Another reason to love my Runt 50. I don't see the connection, but okay.
It must go to 11.
I guess so, yeah. Spinal Tap is legend, yeah. Yeah, all the drummers they went through, they kept spontaneously combusting.
Yep. Oh, well, we nicknamed Richie's, his old band was like Spinal Tap of this area, because I think he went through 5 drummers in 1 calendar year.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Like, I think that's one of the reasons the band ended up folding, is because they just couldn't keep drummers anymore. They exhausted the area.
Well, I think I mentioned this a while back, but we a little over a year ago, we were looking for a drummer, and I kid you not, 18 drummers.
Yep.
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah. Unfortunately, you're in a place that has a population.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it took us 9 months to find a drummer, because most of the phone calls was, hey, you know, are you gigging or are you in family mode? And it was either, hey, I'm not gigging, but I'm not playing at all, or yes, I'm gigging, I'm already in 3 bands. You know,
yeah,
it was one or the other. We couldn't find any available drummers that didn't already have a gig on the side.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And it was the most frustrating thing for us was, they'd say, oh, well, your stuff is easy, I'll just wing it, right? You know, did you learn the songs? Oh, I don't need to learn the song, you know, and how great they were and whatever. And it just blew my mind, like, that they would sit down and play the drums and, like, literally could not play.
Where I look for the guy that reminds me of a lot of my band members. You know, we're all very aware of how good or bad we are. So I prefer to jam with the guy who's like, I'm a terrible drummer. Okay, at least he has self-doubt, as opposed to, I'm the best drummer in the world. And I'm like, oh, that's just
the best guys. Yeah, we had all the best drummers show up. Yeah. So Paul's Country says, if you want to do a documentary on old fat white guys, go to a Kiss concert. You know what? I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, but I'm actually in a Kiss video.
Oh, really?
I'm in the video for Modern Day Delilah. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. I was at the show that they recorded. It was in Cobo Hall.
Okay.
Cobo Hall was shutting down, and then they did 2 shows in Cobo Hall, and they had film crews and that. And
right.
Yeah, and I'm in the video for like
cool
half a second or something like
nice.
That. But I'm there, yeah.
Yes, Terry, like Glenn Fricker, good drummers and bassists are rare. Yes.
Yeah. 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 Okay, folks, it's like 8:30. I think I'm going to be packing it in here. If anybody's got any last-minute questions or comments they want to pop in. In the meantime, let me just mention a couple of things. So I have Brian Fingerless Guitar coming on with me on Thursday at 7 o'clock coming up. And I have, let me just check my calendar again because I want to get the day right. Yeah, December 13th, which is this Thursday, I have Brian. And on Sunday, so that would be this coming Sunday. This is an odd time, but we had to do it at this time. At 2 p.m. on Sunday, I will have Mr. Rick Romanelli coming on.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that. Again, if you have not subbed to Rick, man, sub to Rick. He is so good. Man,
is.
can that guy play? Talk
Yeah.
about tasty.
Oh,
He is,
if the thumbnail shows him with his Gretsch, I'm watching.
yeah.
Like, oh, yeah.
Such a good player. Such a good player. So,
Yeah.
and as are, you know, so many of the people in the chat, you know, thanks for all of, yeah, thanks, Jason Wade. So, and for, you know, the people in the chat, there are so many good players. That's why these challenges are so good, because you get to see people's different takes, you know, on the music, and it's just really, really interesting and cool to see that. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to be, I was getting a lot of requests for doing a lesson 2, part 2, and I have done it, and it's in the editing stage. So if you want to have a second lesson, continuing from the first lesson I did, it will be online later tonight, or at worst case tomorrow morning. So check that out.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
So Ben, you got any last words?
Let's see. We've got I've got pretty much a video coming up on my channel every day through the end of the month. I've decided to ramp things up, at least until the holidays, hopefully right through the holidays. Excuse me. We got the Thursday night show with my partner in crime, Richard Shanahan. Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, right after our good friend Hack here is done. This coming Sunday at 8 p.m., I'm waiting for confirmation, but I may or may not have Steve from Boston coming on. That should be fun. He's always a hit. Or who? Or both.
Mm-hmm.
And Monday, I have no idea, because unlike you, I don't have much of a schedule. I get these guys usually a few days in advance at best. But yeah, I'm sure I'll have somebody on 1 week from today at 3 p.m. Eastern. Or if not, I'll just come on and hang out with you fine folks.
Yeah, well.
And of course, thank you for having me on.
Hey, no worries, man. No worries. Yeah, I really appreciate you coming on, and Chris, that was much appreciated.
Yeah, just a simple message, right?
Yeah, well,
you know, it's like, hey, I'm my guy.
Yeah, and that was great. So, well, we got. Just want to say thanks to everybody. Everybody's saying good night. Marco's Images. Thank you, everybody, for popping in. My phone is going nuts. I hate when that happens. Terry's
please subscribe to Guitar Hack if you're new.
Yeah, please subscribe to myself, to Canucks with Guitars, and to each other. And let's keep this all, you know, supportive, and keep it all positive. And Terry's asking me how to play some cult songs. If you can be specific, Terry. Actually, I know a few cult songs. So you wanted me to Rocket Ride too, didn't you? Yeah, I'll give you a lesson on Rocket Ride. Yeah. So thanks a lot, everybody. Hope everybody has a great week, and we will catch you all on Thursday at 7 o'clock with our good friend Brian Fingerless Guitar. Good night, everybody.
That's gonna be awesome.
Take care, man.